Hey guys, how's it going? It is Eve, and today we are going to be anchoring a infrastructure hub in the system of 9 tag A1P in the outer passage that we gained with a territorial claim unit in our previous video. So, just like in our previous video, you are going to be required to have three things item-wise. First off is a territorial claim unit and a ship with an Entosis link. I'll show you the Entosis link fit that I have on the Mammoth in a second, but really that's basically just an Entosis link fit on the high slot with strontium in its cargo hold. Strontium is required to fuel the Entosis link. Without that, you are not going to get anywhere. So, with the infrastructure hub, it basically requires the same steps to online and anchor as a territorial claim unit. It does also take about 10 minutes in order to online it after you anchored it. So, like before, I will be speeding that section up. So, without further ado, we are going to go ahead and anchor this infrastructure hub, as there's a lot of material to cover with this infrastructure hub. So, an infrastructure hub, basically the TLDR of it is it allows you to upgrade the system you are living in. Meaning you can allow it to spawn more belts or better density belts with different ores, mining upgrades, sovereignty upgrades being strategic, military, or more exploration kind. So that's where really the freighter comes in, because the upgrades that you put into your infrastructure hub, one, are not refundable. Basically, the second you buy them and install them into your infrastructure hub, you are saying goodbye to that module forever. So just do keep that in mind. And the freighter is required to move those modules from a station into the infrastructure hub due to their volume. So, like I said before, you need to be within 8,000 kilometers of a planet in order to anchor a infrastructure hub, just like the territorial claim unit. Your corporation needs to be within an alliance that currently controls sovereignty over the system you're placing your infrastructure hub, and you need to have the required rules to anchor it and do all that. You also require 42 million ISK in your corporation wallet in order to basically keep the infrastructure hub online. And every upgrade you add to the infrastructure hub, your weekly rate for the infrastructure hub goes up in price. So do keep that in mind. So we are going to go ahead and anchor it. So just like before with the territorial claim unit, we are going to simply right click it and launch for self. And there it is. Infrastructure hub is 331 kilometers away. And just like with our territorial claim unit, it is also under the SCC Corporation, meaning anybody could basically come and online this at this point. But we're going to go ahead and just jump into this Mammoth that we're in, because the freighter doesn't have an Entosis link. So we're going to go ahead, warp down to it, and just like what we did with our territorial claim unit, we are going to start intosing the infrastructure hub. It does take about 10 minutes, just like the territorial claim unit, to online. After the 10 minutes is up, you will be in control of the infrastructure hub, and we'll be going into more details about the upgrades and things you can do with the infrastructure hub. So here we are. Let's lock her up. Locked, and let's start our Entosis link. And here we go. We're going to allow our Entosis link to do its one warm-up cycle, and it'll go straight into the capturing sequence, where we'll have to wait out the 10 minutes before we'll be able to do anything with the infrastructure hub. So here we go. Our infrastructure hub is actually now online, and as you can see down in the bottom right, you can stop in toasting please, is that we now have a bill that we have to pay. So we can go and open our corporation wallet, and bills, payables, and here it is, infrastructure hub bill. We're just gonna go ahead and pay this right off the bat so we don't have any headaches later on. So next up is something that can take a very long time depending on what you're after. So up here by where the system name is, you have a shield and you have your 3 logos saying what you own and who owns what. So we're going to focus on the shield mainly. So this is the activity defense modifier. Basically what it does is it tells you exactly, it tells you the level of the system in regards to the military, industry, or strategic. So just going roughly off the top, strategic allows you to place jump bridges, supercapital building facilities in POSes, sinusoidal system jammers, and things like that. Military is more for ratting and stuff like that. Industry is mining. So for industry to level up, you need to pull a certain amount of ore. I believe it's per day or it's per week. I'm not 100% sure, but regardless of that, you need to pull a set amount of ore per level in order to level it up. Military, it's more for your ratting. So the more you rat, the higher that level is. So it's very uncommon to see a no level military system because ratting is everywhere in nullsec, one of the biggest mining, biggest money makers. Strategic, that actually levels up over time. So I don't exactly remember the exact date that it takes to level up, but it's a couple days to a few weeks, I believe it is. So we're just gonna be, because we're on Singularity, we are going to be a little cheat here. We're just gonna type in a command called boost sov, and there we go. So now we have all this is basic. This is all gonna be maxed out, but because I don't have a session change yet, it just upgraded my strategic, which is perfectly fine for this video as it'll show us exactly what we need to do. So we are actually going to go back and get the freighter, because our next part actually requires us to use the freighter because of the volume of the modules we are going to be fitting. So if you were to go to your market right now, we don't need jump bridge, and scroll down to structures, sovereignty structures, infrastructure upgrades. You have your strategic, you have your military, and you have your industrial. So next up is really picking what you want as long as you have the required level. So we're going to go and use industrial upgrades for an example. You can see it has level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, survey networks 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Each level corresponds to a system level, meaning if you have level 1, you can't put in a level 2 because you don't have level 2. So you can only put in level 1, and each one builds on top of the other. So in order to have, I believe it is, in order to have level 2, you need to have level 1. In order to have level 4, you need to have level 3, as you can see. So each one is slightly different in volume, but the ones we're going to be using do require a freighter in order to move them. So really each one does something different, these upgrades. This one, the mining, the ore prospecting arrays, increase the ore resources available in a system. Let's get a little bit closer. Survey allows the mini profession sites to be spawned in. Let's board this freighter. Military wise, okay, we're gonna hit the station. Encampment, like I said, these are mainly for ratting, finding complexes, pirate detection. This is for ratting and combat sites, and so on. We're not going to be focusing on those. We're going to be focusing on the strategic upgrades for this video, as this will lead on to some more important aspects of null-sec sovereignty that we'll be covering down the line in some other videos. So we're going to be anchoring advanced logistics network here. Basically what it is it requires level 3 for strategic, so the top one has to be at level 3 in order to put it in to the infrastructure hub. As you can see here, it also has daily upkeep cost of 10 million. This is calculated per day, so meaning at the end of a week you will have to pay an extra 70 million ISK. The second you put it into your infrastructure hub, you will also need to pay a total of 70 million ISK. So I already have this bought, so we're going to go ahead and actually pick this up right now, and we will warp back to the infrastructure hub. But before I do that, the advanced logistics network, what it does is allows you to anchor jump bridges, which we'll be covering off in another video just after we actually online this. And that's really it. It comes down to what you want in your system. You can have sinusoidal suppression, upgrade, ratting, mining, industry. It really comes down to what you want in your system. But personally, now with the process kind of being phased out in a really slow manner, super capital construction facilities, this last one down here, in my own little personal opinion, would be kind of useless to get unless you can't afford to online a Sodio engineering complex to build your stuff in. First of all, the Sodio allows you to build super capitals. It also allows you to dock, so it's basically the 2-in-1, so great stuff. So we're actually in the station here, and here we go. I have the advanced logistics network upgrade here. I also have the super capital facilities, but that was actually supposed to be in the other system that I onlined. I don't actually know why I brought that down here. So we're gonna go and actually take this upgrade and put it back in the freighter, and we are going to go back and set out to our infrastructure hub and actually online this module. Alright, so now that we've landed on our infrastructure hub, one thing you probably notice is that the shield at the top actually it maxed itself out. This is because, like you saw before, I used a command on Singularity. I just did forget to mention this command does not work on Tranquility, so don't even attempt trying it, it will not work. And what I want to point out is that these levels that you have, I did forget to mention, is that if you do not go and maintain those levels, meaning if you don't go and kill X amount of rats or mine X amount of ore, the levels will actually decrease. The only levels that will not decrease is the strategic index levels. Those will get bigger over time and actually stay at level 5. So that being said, if I go to my corporation here and go to sovereignty, claim system, sorry, you can actually see this is the system adjacent to the system. This is the first system I captured. Because I actually haven't mined in it or actually killed any rats in the past 3-4 days, you can see that my military index and my industry index are actually at level 4 opposed to level 5, meaning I didn't upkeep them, therefore they fell. And if you don't upkeep them, they will fall back to 0, and there is unfortunately nothing you can do in order to get them back up unless you go and start killing those rats, or you go and mine that ore. So let's go ahead and put in our logistical network. So once you have your territorial claim unit online and your infrastructure hub online, basically you right click your infrastructure hub and you go to open infrastructure hub manager right above self-destruct. Do not click self-destruct. Go open infrastructure hub manager, and you will be greeted with a window like this, meaning it has basically it shows you all your levels, it shows you the weekly upgrade weekly costs, and you can see all your basically all your upgrades that you can install. So for this video we're gonna go and just go all, and so we have it in our freighter. To install this, it's really simple. You click it and you drag and drop. So now you get greeted with this pop-up saying installing this upgrade requires an upfront payment of the weekly upkeep fee along with a weekly upkeep bill for the corporation. To install this item you will be charged 70 million ISK upfront. So I actually don't have that, so I'm gonna hit node and quickly just transfer over to my character. Yes, that is character. Right here, for example. 70 million ISK. This is not out of your corporation wallet, it's actually out of your own character's pocket. So we're gonna go ahead and take the 70 million ISK. Okay. And now we have 70 million ISK in our wallet, and we can go ahead and actually drag and drop this back in. And installing, alright, and we'll just continue. Installing upgrades make them a permanent fixture of the receiving infrastructure hub. Once installed, they cannot be removed. So basically, once it's in there, it either goes online or it offlines itself depending on the system level, and you can't remove it. So make sure it's worth your investment. But this being nullsec, the infrastructure hubs do get blown up, meaning you will lose your upgrades. So do put in some thought into the upgrades you want. Make sure they're beneficial to you in one way or the other. And then, are you sure you want to pay the fee and install this upgrade? Because it's singularity, it's no big problem. We're gonna hit yes. And there we go. We have been charged 70 million ISK, and now our weekly cost goes up to 112 million ISK. So every week, the infrastructure hubs will be saying, you owe us 112 million ISK. And you will need to pay that in order to keep the infrastructure hub online. If it were to offline, sorry, then you are gonna have to online it again and probably pay the ISK too. So now let's go ahead and actually just minimize all these. And now we have our under strategic upgrades, we have our advanced logistics network. So here is a online offline button. You can toggle it online offline. It basically tells you here if you offline it, you will immediately lose any benefits it provides. However, it will remain in the infrastructure hub, but in order to online it, you will need to pay another 70 million ISK in order to keep it online. So we're just gonna hit no. And just like with any other thing, the yellow circles means you have the prerequisites for it and you can install it. But just for this video, we are installing the advanced logistical network, and that's really it. So just to recap, you will be needing a Entosis link, strontium, a ship capable of entosing, and an infrastructure hub. The infrastructure hub must be within 8,000 kilometers of a planet. In order to have an upgrade installed in your system, you need to either have X amount of rats killed or X amount of mined, or the list of really what you need, the amount of rats killed and the amount of ore mined will be in the video description below. And you must also have the money in order to upkeep an infrastructure hub, which a default point is 42 million ISK. However, there's no point of having an empty infrastructure hub. An infrastructure hub is to benefit you in passive ways, meaning spawning in different sites without your involvement. So you will be needing to put in upgrades. Each upgrade is dependent on a system level, meaning you cannot put in or prospecting level 2 if you do not have level 1. So that is really it for this video, guys. Hope it was informational, and in our next video we will be setting up a jump bridge network. Until then, fly dangerous. Peace. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. You guys can check out my other previous videos by clicking the 2 thumbnails on screen right now. And if you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. Fly dangerous. Peace.